Big T, Tomislav Ivasic's brother, Zvonimir, is entering the transfer portal, announced yesterday by Joe Tipton from On3. Is he a lock to come to Illinois? Is Big Z a lock to come to Illinois in 2025, 2026? I have a lot of questions. I actually have a few concerns, and it also kind of, I guess, fills in more of the story related to Morez Johnson in a way. So let's discuss. Before I move any further, though, please hit that like button on this video on YouTube and subscribe if you're new here. Posting Illini content as much as I can this summer while we prepare for the 2025-2026 season. So Zvonimir, coached by John Calipari the last 2 years. Year one at Kentucky, then transfers to Arkansas when Calipari took that job last year. Last season, I would say, just from the outside looking in, as someone who didn't watch a lot of Arkansas basketball, I would say that he had a bit of a disappointing year. He started 19 of the 35 games he played in. He had inconsistent minutes. And John Calipari was pretty open about how he was basically a defensive liability for Arkansas. And you can make an argument that Arkansas played better later in the year, especially going into the NCAA tournament, that they were a better team with him not starting. So that's that on that end from the outside looking in. I will say when Illinois played Arkansas in the non-conference this past season, I thought he looked impressive. He reminded me a lot of his brother. I could see why him and his brother probably had a lot of really competitive battles, back home, and they both make each other better, right? So from a team perspective, can Big Z help Illinois with Tommy in 2025? And this, I'll just list off my concerns if Zvonimir comes to Illinois. All right. Defensive liability. And Morez Johnson just entered the transfer portal. He's 7 foot, but I kind of get the feeling perhaps if you have both of them, big Tommy and Zvonimir, on the court at the same time, Illinois interior defensively is going to be atrocious. Now, Tomislav, he can block shots. He's a big body, but there were times last year where you could see the defense from him wasn't always the greatest. And the experts out there say that Zvonimir isn't even that good defensively. I mean, he fell out of the Arkansas rotation for a reason. So my concerns mainly with Zvonimir is who's going to be your big, your toughness guy. That's why I loved Morez Johnson. He just brought toughness and he rebounded and he wasn't soft. Could Tommy and Zvonimir basically kind of help each other out defensively all together? And in turn, maybe this narrative that I'm forming in my head that both of them on the court together defensively would be bad, will it actually be good? Well, to argue my own point, many thought that Zvonimir would be a better college basketball player than Tomislav. And I think at this point, you can say that Tommy has been a better college basketball player than Zvonimir. So can Brad and Tyler Underwood unlock Zvonimir Ivisic at Illinois next season and going to his junior year? Again, 8.5 points, 4.3 rebounds, 1.9 blocks in 19 minutes per game last year for Arkansas. There's more in there. And it sounds like there was, some tension between him and Calipari this year at Arkansas based off, the inconsistent minutes and stuff like that. Come to Champaign, new change of scenery, play with your brother. perhaps could be good for him. And I think Brad and that coaching staff has really helped bigs, right? Kofi Coburn is an example, right? I know Coleman Hawkins isn't a 5, but he was playing the 5 2 years ago, right? On a very small Illinois team. They've had bigs come in here and be really productive. I still think Tommy is your main center, but could Zvonimir play the 4? Could they? My big question is, could they play on the floor together at the same time for more than 5 to 10 minutes? I don't personally know. And the rumor out there on the streets is that Illinois, they want 3 bigs. They want 3 bigs, not to start, but, on the roster. And so if you bring in Zvonimir, you're replacing Morez Johnson, but who's going to be the 4? And also, is Zvonimir going to want to come off the bench? Because I would lean that I don't think they should start both, but maybe I'm completely wrong. When I'm reading about when I'm reading about him being a defensive liability, it scares me. Now, the offense, I haven't talked enough good. This guy shot what? 30, he shot 37% from 3 and 47% from the field. These guys, high low in the post, could be we could see a lot of great offense from these two. It would be a movie, I think, offensively with these two. And if Illinois wants to just continue trying to outscore teams, I mean, at least it'll be fun, but I don't know if we're going to go any higher than where we've been the last 2 years, whether that's winning one NCAA tournament game or, getting into the Elite Eight because, you were able to face Morehead State and Duquesne in the first 2 rounds, right? I mean, give them credit. They beat Iowa State too. But, do I feel like this team is going to be sky's the limit type situation? I think offensively, yeah, I can really dream about it, but I do have concerns. I do have concerns defensively if Zvonimir comes to Illinois, based off what I've read. And then Christoph Tilley, the guy from Santa Clara that Illinois was on a Zoom call with last week and is kind of rumored to be coming to Illinois. What's his role in all this? Is he going to be the 4? If that happens, like, could all 3 of them coexist on the same roster? They're all very similar players. All 3 able to shoot the 3. All 3 athletes can pass the ball, right? Very finesse type big men who can shoot the 3. And European. Illinois is just really embracing getting these guys from across the seas. So I think from an offensive perspective, it'd be really fun basketball. And I do think, based off what I've seen with Illinois and their development with Tommy Ivisic, that perhaps they can unlock Zvonimir, his brother, and his career could start to really take off like a lot of people thought when he was at Kentucky his freshman year. So I'm not against it. I'm not exactly begging for it, but it feels like it's pretty inevitable that it's going to happen. I will be surprised if Zvonimir is not at Illinois at some point this summer. So I think it's a lock, but my big question is toughness, defense, and can both of them play at the same time for more than 5 to 10 minutes? I think those are my 3 things, and I'm at least willing to see it and see if it plays out that way. Okay. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Hit that like button on the YouTube video. I appreciate it. And we'll continue to follow this transfer portal news all summer, all spring, as we still are in, and any more stuff coming out. I just put up 2 new videos yesterday related to Trey White and Morez Johnson. And so if you want to check those out, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. ILL, my friends.